Hey, Eagle fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Welcome to Philadelphia Eagles Now. Let's jump into some mock trades that I made for you guys. Curious your thoughts on these four coming up in just 1 second. First, how many Eagle games have you guys been to in your lifetime? Is it none yet? Are you planning on going to one? Is it 3? Is it 30? Is it, 60 if you're way up there in age, you're a season ticket holder? I've been to 4 in my lifetime, 1 in Philadelphia and the rest on the road because I moved all around the United States. But how many Eagle games have you gone to? Let me know down below right now. Alright, so I want to jump into today's video, and that is giving you guys some mock trade ideas. And a couple of these trades, you've seen the names thrown around there, but what would it actually cost? What would I think this player is worth? What would I give up if I was Philadelphia? And so on and so forth. I think it's an interesting overall idea and look into what Philadelphia could do, a little bit less than a month from now when you are actually able to make trades at the start of the new league year. I think Philadelphia will be moving some people, whether it's internally or bringing in some people, and hence, that's why we're going to go ahead and jump into today's mock trades. Because, again, they're going to be active, they're going to make some moves, and I think there are some guys out there to be had and some guys to go ahead and shift away. As always, just if you're new to the channel, the team needs, in my opinion, for Philadelphia are very simple. You got to get a linebacker and defensive end. Those are extremely important this offseason. They will add a wide receiver at some point, whether it be a trade or draft or free agency. I think a cornerback opposite of Darius Slay, because Steven Nelson, they're not going to re-sign him, and possibly offensive line, although with Kelsey returning, you can kind of move that one down. That's why it's there at the bottom right now. Now, again, I'm going to present some mock trades, and most of these you've seen these names, and you say, Thomas, we know that you're going to talk about, for instance, Calvin Ridley, as we will, but what do I think they're worth? What would I actually pay for these guys? And I'll include some trades that ship away, some Eagle players as well. And so without further ado, before we get started, name a player you want to trade for. As we get this, the ball rolling on today's video, is there a player you want to trade for, whether it's trading someone away or trading somebody for? Let me know who that is down below right now during the pinned comment. Now, the biggest name that we're going to talk about in our list of 4 in terms of trades is Russell Wilson. And I'm not necessarily advocating that I want to trade for Russell Wilson. You guys watch the channel, you've seen the videos, you know my stance on wanting to keep Jalen Hurts. But with the Wilson drama being thrown around, the Albert Breer update, and the Ian Rappaport update that's come out the past couple of days, I want to at least give an idea of what I think the proper Russell Wilson trade would look like and the overall value. So here you go. Here's our mock trade. Mock trade number 1. The Steelers would get 2 of the Eagles' first-round draft picks this year, 15 and 16, and then I'd give up a 2023 first-round draft pick. That's very important, right? Because I don't want to give up all 3 first-round draft picks, but according to reports, it's going to cost at least 3 first-round draft picks to get Russell Wilson, and so we'll give you 2 now, that way we can keep our own, 19 overall, and then give you our first next year. Now, again, do I actually want to do this trade? No, I don't. I want to keep those first-round draft picks. Like, I'd rather keep Jalen Hurts and have those 3 first-round draft picks. But because this rumor, this report has been swirling around so much, we at least have to acknowledge it. You see the video over the weekend, or I think it was at the Pro Bowl when Russell Wilson was in that group of kids in the tunnel and only signed the kid with the Eagle hat? Like, that was the only hat that he signed. That sparked a bunch of tweets at my Twitter account and a bunch of people on Twitter saying he's going to come to Philadelphia. There's no guarantee. Like, I still think they're going to go with Jalen Hurts and these 3 first-round draft picks, but it is at least important to show what I would do, what I would pay for Russell Wilson. I do think it will cost 3 first-round draft picks. I know he's 34 years old, but at the same time, I think he's been an incredibly productive player, and as we showed you just a couple of videos ago, he still had a fantastic season despite missing a bunch of games. Like, he would have thrown for 4,000 yards and probably 32 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Like, that still is pretty darn incredible. And so for everyone saying, I don't want Russell Wilson because of age, I would disagree. I don't want Russell Wilson because I like Jalen Hurts. That's why I don't want Russell Wilson, but I still think Russell Wilson's a baller player. And honestly, you can make the argument, I think, very, very, very clearly that Philadelphia could win a lot of games next year with Russell Wilson at the helm at the quarterback spot. So again, I want to show you this trade first because I do think that if they were to make the move, that is exactly what it would cost. 2 firsts this year and 1 first next season. Pick a quarterback, as we always ask you here, the age-old question that will never die out until they either trade for a quarterback or don't. You want Jalen Hurts or Russell Wilson? Type JH down below for Hurts, or type RW down below for Russell Wilson. All right, next player on our list, another name we talked about a lot here on the channel, that is Calvin Ridley. It's very simple in terms of the overall trade. I would do Calvin Ridley for a 2022 second-round draft pick. So Atlanta gets our second-round draft pick this year, and we get Calvin Ridley. He's not worth a first-round draft pick. Not at all. If you trade a first-round draft pick for Calvin Ridley, you're crazy and dumb, because there are a lot of great first-round receivers, which you could have at 15 overall, like Olave and Garrett Wilson, or Drake London, or Treylon Burks. Like, there are a bunch of wide receivers for the first. But in the second round, I think there's some value there in terms of bringing a guy, a veteran like Ridley, versus getting somebody who is a lot cheaper. Again, you do wonder if this is a Ben Simmons situation where he really simply just wants out of Atlanta and is using mental health as an excuse, or if there's actually real things going on there, like it was for Brandon Brooks and Lane Johnson. Who knows? But the production obviously came down last season, but I think if he plays, place and plays an entire year and has, you know, the right people around him inside the Nick Sirianni offense, he can be really productive, and I think a second is what I would go ahead and trade for Calvin Ridley. Maybe a third, that'd be better. I'd rather trade a third, but I do think Atlanta's going to hold out for a second, and there are enough teams that want a wide receiver to where a second is probably going to go ahead and be the price. Make sure you guys, again, are subscribed to the channels. We got 2 more mock trades for you guys here. We're going to be doing some fun videos coming up over the next couple of days and weeks. Maybe some more draft profile outlooks, taking a look at some other players you might want to be interested in the draft. That's going to be a good video. Mailbag video later on this weekend as well. Turn on your notifications when you subscribe as well. The little notification bell gets you guys every video directly to your, not a subscription box, but gives you a little notification on your phone as well. So hit that red, or the little gold bell, the notification bell. All right, let's talk about trading away some of the internal players here. Gardner Minshew. This has been talked about a lot here on the channel. Here's my mock trade for Minshew. I think you could trade him to the Carolina Panthers and get a 2022 6th-round draft pick. Now, there's a lot of people that are saying Carolina will take a quarterback in the upcoming draft. They sit at number 6 overall inside the top 10. That's likely. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they did, but they still have Sam Darnold, who they paid a lot for in order to get from the Jets. They still have him under contract, so I would keep Darnold and bring in Gardner Minshew to create a little quarterback, you know, battle there, and I think Minshew can play. Like, I like Gardner Minshew, and I think that if you were to trade him away, it'd be good for Carolina, and you still get something in return, you know, a 5th or a 6th-round draft pick. Not a lot in terms of overall value. Now, I do think that this would mean Philadelphia would draft a quarterback to be the backup quarterback at some point in this year's draft. Not, you know, Malik Willis or Kenny Pickett or Sam Howell, but I expect the Eagles to draft a late-round quarterback, maybe a Carson Strong or some of the other, you know, lesser-known guys in the later parts of the NFL draft in order to go ahead and kind of have that backup behind Jalen Hurts or potentially Russell Wilson, because if they do trade for Russell Wilson, they're probably trading away Jalen Hurts. They might include him in the package, right? You're not going to have Hurts just become the backup quarterback. He would never stand for that because he's been the starter and been promised to be the starter. So if they do trade away Gardner Minshew, I would see Philadelphia drafting a quarterback, you know, around 4, 5, 6, just to have somebody in there. I know Reed is in there, but I don't know if he's going to be the backup of the future. But if they trade away Gardner, they're going to bring in somebody else. And I think they should trade away Gardner Minshew. I think you should let him go someplace where he can actually compete. He tried to do that in Philadelphia, and they basically said, no, we're going to roll with Jalen Hurts, and that was the right call. Send him somewhere, Denver, whether you want to send him to New Orleans, you want to send him to Carolina, who can actually, where he can actually, I should say, try and compete for a starting job and maybe actually win it, because I think he's a good player. You said the Eagles will draft a quarterback in 2022? Like at all? In any part of the, you know, rounds 1 through 7, if you think they will, type Y down below for yes. I think they will not, go and type N down below for no. We mentioned this yesterday. They're still on sale. 30% off the Eagles 2-pack polo set right now for men in black and green, and Kelly green as well. The link is chatsports.com/Eagles polo. You didn't pick this up yesterday. Now's your sign to go pick it up because they're still on sale right now. Again, chatsports.com/Eagles polo. 30% off right now. 2-pack black and green. The link is down below right now in the description box. All right, final trade here. This one makes a ton of sense, and I think this would be fantastic for both teams. How about trading away Andre Dillard? Now, we talked about this in the past, but a team that makes a ton of sense to me would be the Cincinnati Bengals. Did you watch the Super Bowl? I mean, Joe Burrow, the most sacked quarterback in the league last year, or this past season, I should say. He was sacked a ton in the postseason. He was sacked 7 times or whatever in the Super Bowl. Get him a starting left tackle who's a star left tackle, and I think you could get probably a 4th-round draft pick. And that might be a little low for some of you guys. You're saying, oh, Dillard was a first, and he's really good. He's worth at least a 1st-round draft pick. No, he's not. Like, it's just not how it works. He's worth at best a 3, at worst a 5. Like, you're not going to get a lot in return for Andre Dillard. You're trading him away in order to, you know, not have somebody who's a starter be a backup for the entire season behind Jordan Mailata and to recover some cap space because he has a 1st-round draft pick. He costs a little bit of money. I would love the idea of Dillard staying. Like, I mean, if you could you keep him, no issue there because it's nice to have a starter as a backup, but you just don't need him to. And so, much like Gardner Minshew, you want him to kind of, you know, go fly, like be free and go try to win a starting job. And I think Dillard would make instantly the left tackle position better in Cincinnati and probably a lot of other spots that need a offensive lineman as well. All right, grade my mock trades. Again, A, B, C, D, or F. I think all of these make a ton of sense. These are all trades, again, that I would do and what I would pay for. Maybe not the Russell Wilson one, but if you have to trade for Russell Wilson, that's the price that I think he's worth, and that's the price that I would pay for as well. The rest of these, though, Dillard, obviously Calvin Ridley, and Gardner Minshew, I would 100% go ahead and do. All right, ultimate day on our Eagles trade mock video. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Follow me on Twitter, @RealThomasMott. Give me a DM if you guys have any more questions you want me to ask as we head to the latter part of the week. Halfway there, hump day. Enjoy the rest of your day. 4 Foot of Eagles now, Thomas Mott signing off. See you guys in the next video.